Hi, this is Dave Shellhouse from the Midwest Regional Educational Service Center. We are the creators of the Ohio Explorers curriculum. In this video, I'm going to highlight the Ohio Social Studies Explorers, which is a K-5 program that's directly aligned to the Ohio Social Studies standards. We also have a Ohio Science Explorers curriculum that's aligned directly to the Ohio Science standards. So these curriculum were developed to assist schools in finding aligned curriculum to Ohio standards because that is sometimes difficult to do. That leaves teachers to try to fill in blanks or find resources themselves. And it's very difficult to find lessons and resources that are aligned directly to the grade level content standards for social studies and course science. So I'm going to take this time to walk you through the Ohio Social Studies Explorers and how it looks and what's included in it. You'll see here, these are the units that are in the K-5 curriculum. We will be developing a 6-8 curriculum as well, but right now we're trying to finish up the K-5 units. K-4 is finished. The K-5 units will be probably available in the spring of 26 here upcoming. So you'll see each grade level has 4 units where they explore different concepts that are aligned to the Ohio content standards for social studies. And then when a district purchases the curriculum, the grade level teachers will receive a unit overview that looks like this. And this is a shared Google Doc. They get access to 4 shared Google Docs, which have all the resources and information they need to teach each of the units. And they're all designed, again, as Google Docs, which means that you can access them through your Google Drive. We developed it with Google because of the ease, and a lot of districts are Google districts. So this is seamless for districts that have Google. You can still use it in LMS. The teacher just has to have access to a Google Drive so that they can access and then save the different resources in the units. The only thing you can't do with the unit overview is you can't make a copy of it, you can't print it or share it. And again, that's one reason is the proprietary nature of the curriculum. The second reason is we want teachers to be able to have the most recent version of the curriculum. And if you make a copy, as you know, in Google, that's a static copy. And if I make a change or I fix a link or add something to a unit, the teacher will never see it. So this way, since they can't do that, every time they open up their unit overview, they know that it has all of the most recent information in it. All of the unit overviews are organized exactly the same way at every grade level. That too was done intentionally because we know sometimes teachers get shifted from one grade level to another. We didn't want teachers to have to learn a new platform or a new format or structure. So it is seamless. So if they go from grade 4 to grade 5 or to grade 2, it all is going to look the same. It just will be a different color, but it'll navigate the same. It has the same components to it. At the top of every unit, we have some links to some things that teachers might find helpful. One is a printable version of this overview. We do know that teachers want to be able to print this so that we make a printable PDF version. The links aren't live on it, but you can print it and still make notes as they see fit. There's also an implementation guide for the teacher that allows them to see what the grade 4 curriculum looks like and just gives some overall insights. Probably the most helpful link, and I'll share this briefly, is the storylines. The storylines are meant to have the overview of all of the content of the unit. All the units are in an inquiry framework using the 5E framework, which is engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So you'll see lessons in each one of those inquiry stages. And in the storyline, we have each of the activities that are in that inquiry stage and the approximate duration that those activities take. This helps teachers do some planning. We know that schools have all kind of different time frames to teach social studies, especially K-5. So we wanted to make sure that they at least had a framework that they could work from to know how long approximately each one of these takes, so they can then make the modifications they need to make it work within their schedule. And then it also lists any materials that the teacher may need to do those activities, as well as key vocabulary for those activities. And then lastly, the student outcome. What will the student be expected to be able to do at the end of this inquiry stage? And that helps teachers formatively assess whether the students are on track or not to move on. Did they master the content that we were asking them to master? So again, that is helpful for the teacher. And that goes all the way through each of the different inquiry stages, as well as the next exploration. Each unit has 2 explorations in it. And then you'll notice that each exploration has the specific content standard from Ohio that aligns to that exploration. So again, you know for certain that it's aligned directly to the Ohio standards. And then we also have the I can statements that are already created for the teacher so they can share them with students and use them instructionally. There's a unit summary that just kind of gives a brief summary of what will be addressed in the unit. And then for each exploration, we have background information for teachers. We know that sometimes there's content that teachers may not be real familiar with. So we want to give them some background information so that they're well versed in the content before they teach the different lessons of the unit. And then we also include the Ohio Department of Education Workforce's model curriculum components. Instead of making teachers look at 2 different documents, we went ahead and included those in each unit as well. So you'll see the content elaboration from the model curriculum, as well as the expectations for learning. At the end of that teacher information, there's a template to a digital interactive notebook. This is an optional resource that teachers can use with their students. It's a Google slide deck that has all of the activities, or many of the activities that are done in that unit, and then each exploration that students could then record things in this Google slide deck. Teachers can make a copy of this for themselves. They can then assign it through Google Classroom and make a copy for each student. So each student has a copy of the notebook. In that notebook, they'll have their learning targets. And then there's each exploration. If there's something that we want students to look at and share, the images are there. There's a place they can record the information that we ask them to answer. If there's a video, which we use a lot of videos to engage students in the content with some engaging high interest videos, those are accessible in their notebook. So if they're absent, they can still watch the video, and then they can respond and type their answer to the question in the text box. So as you go through, you'll see places where they will see the images that we want them to observe, and then places where they can record their answers. And then again, each exploration is included in the notebook. These are optional, as I said. If teachers want to do this with a physical notebook, that is fine. It's just that sometimes it's nice to have some of these other ones because, again, you can embed video. There's things that you can include where they can do some drag and drops or create a timeline themselves using the Google Slide format. So again, teachers can choose to use it or not, but just want to make sure that you understand that that is included in grades 3, 5. We don't go lower than that because we just don't feel it's appropriate instructionally for students to be doing that digitally. And then again, all of the overviews have the inquiry stages for each of the explorations. This is where you'll find all of the information and the resources you need to teach the content of that exploration. So anything that the teacher needs is linked in blue. We wanted to make this, again, simple to navigate. It's just like navigating a website. So when you click on a link, it opens that up, and then you can open it up and make a copy of it. You can print it. Anything that you see linked in this part of the unit overview can be saved, copied, printed. You can save it to your Google Drive and then organize it accordingly. So these are all resources that the teacher can then download and use in their classroom. There's, anything you need from the cards to do a card sort that the teacher can then print off and make copies of. There's Google slide decks already made. We make them available both in Google Slide Deck and PowerPoint. If you want to use both. So anything that you need for the handouts, and again, even the answer key, are all linked within that unit overview. So it's just one place that you have to go to find all of the information and all the resources you need to teach it. We wanted to make this as simple as possible for teachers so that they're not spending their time going out trying to find different pieces. It's all right here. And then you'll see some centers, but anything that you need for the center is there. We also try to make sure we reinforce literacy skills. You'll see articles that students will then access. Not sure why that's coming up, but there are articles where that the students can then access, and you can assign them either through Google Classroom or print them off and allow them to read it at the center. I want to scroll down and look at highlight another couple things that we always have in each of the units. At the end of each unit, there is an Exploration 1 or an Exploration 2 assessment. This goes to a pair assessment, or used to be Edulastic. These are already created for the teacher, so you can assign them online. They can be printed as well, so you can use them as a hard copy. Once the teacher accesses them, they can make a copy of those assessments and then edit it within their account in Pair Assessment. So these are all editable. You just need a free account on the Pair Assessment or Edulastic site so that you can then make the copy of the assessment and then edit it as you so choose. So all of those have the assessments listed. We also include some books that can be used again to reinforce the literacy piece that are aligned to the content of this exploration, so that teachers can use them for guided reading or read-alongs, whatever you want to use them for. But you don't have to go out trying to find a couple books to align directly to what you are teaching in terms of the Ohio Social Studies standards. And then you'll see Exploration 2, again, the same exact information. There's background information, content elaboration, and then again, it looks just the same as well as the other one where you have links. I do want to kind of real quickly highlight, we do use the interactive ebooks from Info Ohio. They're already embedded and aligned in the curriculum, so you don't have to go out and figure out where I want to use this book. They're linked directly, and then you can use them either to show whole class and project, or you can also get a link and put that in Google Classroom and assign it to the students where they have access to it on their device, and then they can read it independently. You'll notice it has all the informational text features to it that reinforces some of our literacy standards again, because we felt it was important to make sure that we have that ability for the teacher to reinforce some of the literacy standards that they also teach at their grade level. The other nice thing about it is it allows them to, and makes Winslet's my hair about use the way I think that's a nice feature as well. So there's several places where we utilize these interactive ebooks. Like here's one, here's another, and then there's questions sometimes that go along with the book for comprehension, but you'll notice that we use that. We also try to bring in some writing pieces in the curriculum to help reinforce some of the writing. So they'll use the content of the ebook to do an opinion writing, and then we include like an opinion writing guide for the students then that assists them in putting that together. That's basically created using the fourth grade writing rubric for Ohio. So we just wanted to kind of highlight what the curriculum includes, how it's formatted, the types of resources you'll find within it, and the types of lessons. Most of these are hands-on, dual aligned to some of the literacy standards, but I think you'll find that it's easy to use and has everything in it that you need, because again, that was what we were shooting for, because we want teachers to have the most success in teaching the standards that they need to teach in their classroom. If you'd like more information, you can go to our website, which is www.explorerscurriculum.com. There you can see some other examples and some testimonials, and you can also find out more about our other curriculum, which is the Ohio Science Explorers, which is formatted the exact same way, but it utilizes the Ohio Science Standards instead. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what the curriculum includes and how it navigates. If you want to do a preview of it, there are ways that we can arrange that. You can go to the website and find the email to contact us, and we can set that up for you. So thanks for watching.